Hey folks, this next video for today, a little bit of a Nofap discussion slash musing video. On the PMO industry is the topic. Had an interesting discussion on Fitzgerald Brown's live stream last night. Truth of YouTube was there, and I think we got into talking about the PMO industry, and there's sort of a point that was being made was that most people in the PMO industry, and I'm calling it PMO industry. I really don't want to use I guess you could say the proper term, but most people in this quote unquote industry are there because they want to be there, and I think it's been sort of a bit of a, I mean, for lack of a better term, red pill or realization or point or understanding that I mean there may be folks in the NoFap community who would want to reject it, want to believe it, um, or they just don't, they just haven't seen or know that sort of side of things. That I mean, while there is definitely some, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just put that. I wouldn't be able to confirm it, but there definitely is this high likelihood that there is human trafficking involved, which is a tragedy and an egregious crime, but most of the folks are there for the easy money, and it's an excuse to sleep around or what they want to call find themselves or what they like, that sort of thing, and they can write it off as, oh, I worked a few years in quote unquote the industry, or I was finding myself while making exorbitant amounts of money, having physically intimate relations, keep this PG, physically intimate relations with a whole laundry list of random people, And, with that in mind, to me, Nofap is not some moral crusade. That's kind of like, building all. That's how I'm really connecting it to Nofap in and of itself. Nofap is not some moral crusade to me. It's not about fighting against objectification or so. Because, I mean, for one thing, you're imposing a sort of meaning or an ideal on reality and on other people, and you're wanting to sort of believe that the actors and actresses involved in there are, they couldn't possibly be there because they want to be there. If they were, then it would just totally, I don't know, demolish my entire worldview on whatever. And that in my understanding, my knowledge is not the case. That's like, again, why I said that NoFap is not some moral crusade, in my mind. When I do NoFap, I'm more effective at improving my life. It's like I'm making reference to the concept of a will to power, basically. If you're doing something that increases your feeling of strength and control of your life and your ability to be effective and get things done, then if you're using a sort of term or a topic, a will to power, that terminology, you'd want to pursue those things that make you stronger and avoid the things that make you weaker. And that's why, for one thing, I got on NoFap. That's why I've stuck with it, because way back when I initially started, consistently doing NoFap, which isn't to say that I wasn't sort of doing NoFap beforehand. It just didn't have, it just didn't have like a sort of term to it. I call like, spiritual purity or self-discipline or, whatever term I used. It was kind of nebulous, but now it's called NoFap, and I would probably get through like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month at a time of being, free and clear or whatever of PMO. But when I originally sat down back in the end of 2016, after I'd filled a couple classes and I'd been, PMOing like crazy, binging and all that, and started doing sort of an analysis of like, okay, obviously something's out of whack in my life. Every time I get stressed out about exams or grades, I'm PMOing, and obviously like I get stuff like brain fog, which I didn't really have a term for at the time, but that's basically what it was, is brain fog. I'd get stressed out, I'd PMO, and then I'd basically forget so much of the stuff that I'd spent the last, not just a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month studying. And obviously there were other factors. There was an abusive relationship I was in with, a girl, long distance, from Morocco. Um, there were other issues, but taking PMO out of the picture, for like weeks, months at a time, really working on doing self-analysis in order to, you know, avoid PMO or just to, not relapse, that inevitably ended up causing the kind of changes in my mentality, even just my physical and psychological health, such that I was able to be way more effective, make the kind of changes I needed to do, needed to make in order to actually graduate from college. And throughout that experience, I've gotten to the point where, like I said, this is not a moral or ethical sort of a thing. I understand that folks go into the quote unquote industry because, like I said, it's easy money. Um, you don't have to go get a degree from a university, a master's or a PhD, even up to that level. You don't have to get all these certifications. You don't got to have years and years of work experience. You don't have to get into necessarily the best physical shape of your life, depending upon what you're actually trying to go for, quote unquote, in the industry, I suppose. You don't have to learn multiple languages. You don't have to. I mean, sure, some things do help, but you don't have to do all of that stuff. You don't have to study for hours and hours to master differential equations or calculus based physics or organic chemistry or process engineering, thermodynamics. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. You just go there and you you have physically intimate relations with a bunch of random people. Be sure to follow the dictates of whoever's directing the scene, so they get the right camera angle and blah blah blah. And okay, read off your lines and pretend like you're whatever that role is. And even within filmmaking, like we're not talking about like you know Martin Scorsese level script writing or directing, or so. It's not like that. And there's lots of money there, and if that's all you're after, then you know that's something that these folks are there for. They're for the easy money, excuse to sleep around, that sort of deal. And hence that's why it feeds into sort of my perspective on Nofap. So before I ramble on any further, I just started repeating myself, so I'm going to finish up here and upload this, and I'm pretty sure at this point I've made my point clear. So I'll see you folks around. Thanks for watching, etc. You know the spiel. I'll see you later. Bye.